Hey guys, what's up? It's Tech Flash, and today's video is a little bit different, and I'm going to be actually talking about the Apple Watch Series 2 in 2022, and I'm going to see if it's actually worth it, if this watch still is of any value in the presence of the Apple Watch Series 7 and even the Apple Watch SE, which is still a very budget-friendly option that we have today, and also most likely the Apple Watch Series 8, which will be coming out in a few months. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the functionality of the Apple Watch 2, and also I'm going to discuss some pros, some cons, and finally discuss if the Apple Watch Series 2 is actually worth it in 2022 and if you should still consider buying this. So first of all, the Apple Watch Series 2 came out in 2016, and that makes it almost a 6-year-old watch in 2022. But to me, it really doesn't feel like a 6-year-old watch. And the main reason for it is that it doesn't really lag. I've never felt it being outdated by the other Apple Watches. And not to say that there isn't any difference between this watch and the Series 7. Obviously, there's a big difference when it comes to the display. But apart from that, this is still a very capable watch, even in 2022. The only biggest downside, in my opinion, of having such an old Apple Watch, especially a Series 2, is that you really don't get the latest software updates. So I cannot actually update this to watchOS 8, but you still do get the security updates every now and then, which in my opinion are more than enough to making sure that your Apple Watch is functioning properly. And my Apple Watch actually is compatible with the iPhone XS, which is what I use for almost every day. And the iPhone XS may seem like it is a little bit older, but I've actually paired this Apple Watch Series 2 with an iPhone 13 and it works perfectly fine. Even if you open up the Apple Watch application on your iPhone, you'll actually see that in the face gallery, you see most of the faces that are available even for the latest Apple Watches. Yes, there are some that are missing, especially for the Apple Watch Series 7, because it is such a huge display difference that some of the wallpapers or some of the faces are not compatible. But that's about the only downside about the Apple Watch Series 2. And also, if you guys ever notice, the updates that come in usually have about 1 or 2 big functions or features that really impact the device. But apart from that, they're usually really small updates that you don't even notice. They're mostly bug fixes, or they're mostly internal improvements that are being made to make sure that your device functions properly. So keeping that in mind, not getting the watchOS 8 is really not much of a big deal. One feature that I really like about the Apple Watch Series 2 that is available on almost all Apple Watches right now is that you're able to answer phone calls from your wrist. So let's say you're driving and you don't have your phone with you, or it's out of reach and you just want to make sure that you're not distracted. You can actually directly pick up a call from your phone and also talk to people. Another thing that I wanted to point out is that this is a really rugged Apple Watch, and that may seem a little bit weird because the Apple Watch Series 2 especially does not necessarily have the hardest or the best glass available as compared to the other Apple Watches. But if you can see here, the Apple Watch is really not in great shape. You can actually see that I've hit it so many times against doors. It's been smashed on the walls so many times, but it's still functioning properly. It's not in any way unfunctional. It's not broken from anywhere. It's just maybe cosmetically not as beautiful as it should be. Another really cool feature about the Apple Watch Series 2 is that it actually is waterproof. And I like that Apple introduced waterproofing so early on into the Apple Watch series. And it's not just waterproof, as actually I think the best term to use here is swim-proof. So it's proper water resistant, it's proper waterproof. You can actually take it on swims, you can record your laps. In the menu, if you go down, you can see that you see this little water droplet, and if you click on it, it's going to ask you to turn the crown. Now, that sound that you heard is actually the sound that it uses to expel water, which is very unique. I think I was really impressed by this when I saw it for the first time, because no one else had ever done this before. This is the first time this functionality was available, and it is available in the Apple Watch 2, which makes it that much more worthwhile. Now, I think the best feature so far about the Apple Watch, and I'm not specifically talking here about the Apple Watch 2, I'll get to that in a minute, but about the Apple Watches is that they really focus on your health and your well-being. And when we talk about health, your heart, I think, is number one. So talking about the heart, the Apple Watch Series 2 has the heartbeat monitor where you can actually measure your heartbeat. You can look at the resting heart rate, at the walking or the activity heart rate, which means that if you're at the gym, you can actually monitor your heart rate, and not only at the gym, but also making sure that there's nothing wrong in with you. And there have been instances where the Apple Watch has detected irregular heartbeats, and it has actually notified emergency services. Another thing that is unique to the Apple Watch Series 2 that came afterwards to all the other Apple Watches is that you actually have the option to double it up as an ECG machine, which is limited to some countries. But if your country has that update, the heartbeat monitor can act as an ECG machine, which immediately can tell you if there's anything wrong with your heartbeat, if there's anything that you need to be concerned about. And it has actually saved lives. I've heard on multiple occasions that Apple Watch has actually saved lives. And it also gives you the option to kind of set up like a trigger or a warning where, let's say, if your heartbeat goes above a certain heart rate, it actually notifies you, or if it's below a certain heart rate, it notifies you. So in my opinion, this is one of the best functions of the Apple Watch Series 2. Talking about the battery life of the Apple Watch Series 2, which may seem like it has really bad battery life because it is such an old watch, but surprisingly to me it gives me about 2 days, which kind of sounds unreal, but it does. It gives me a 1.5 day really easily, but it pushes out to 2 days. I think that's still really decent. Even in 2022, giving you 2 days, almost 2 days of battery life is not bad at all. And the good part about it is that it charges really fast as well, so it's not gonna take you 8 hours to charge it so that it can last you 2 days. No, it charges within an hour and a half. Another option that I wanted to actually show you guys, which is not a very big option, but something that I really find useful, is that you actually have the option to ping your iPhone, which means that let's say you put it somewhere on your Apple Watch. If you go to the menu, you can actually see that there's an option where you can ping your iPhone, and if you click on it, it's gonna play a sound. And that sound it's a very high-pitched sound, which actually helps you locate your iPhone. I've used it so many times, I can't even tell you. So it is a really good function that has come in handy for me many times. I've maybe put it in my car and forgotten it, or maybe it's under the blanket somewhere, or it can be between the couch somewhere. When it comes to setting up the watch faces, there are a ton of options that you can choose from, not only from the different designs, but also from different colors, different complications. You can choose it to exactly what you want, and there's so many things that you can choose from. So for example, you can even put little shortcuts or little complications. So if you want to, let's say, select your heartbeat monitor, you can put that up on this specific little corner, which means that if you click on it once, it's going to immediately take you there instead of having to scroll through the complete Apple Watch and then going to that specific function. And similarly, you can choose different colors, different faces. There are endless options, and I think you can even download custom faces that are not available here by default on the Apple Watch application. So there are endless options that you can choose from, and that's part of why I still use an Apple Watch Series 2, because I don't get bored of it. You have so many options that you can choose from that you don't really always have to go with one face watch. You're not gonna see the same thing every day if you don't want to. Now, coming to a conclusion, whether the Apple Watch Series 2 is worth it in 2022, and I would say absolutely it is worth it, because you're getting so much functionality out of a 6-year Apple Watch. And there's one thing that you have to keep in mind, guys. The Apple Watch Series 2 is not a power device. It's not something that you're going to be using to edit videos. It's not something that you're going to be using that you have to heavily rely on to function from day to day. It is an accessory. It is an addition to something that you already have to enhance the feature of that. So it provides you with the complete options that you would need every day from any smartwatch. But considering the Apple Watch Series 2, it's not really too much different from the Apple Watch Series 7, except for a maybe handful of features like the design and just a few more things. So it is absolutely worth it even in 2022, especially if it is your first Apple Watch. So if you haven't gotten into the Apple Watch game, or if you are buying this as a gift for someone that doesn't have an Apple Watch but they do have an iPhone, and you want to gift something that is really budget friendly but also very nice at the same time, the Apple Watch Series 2 is 100% worth it even in 2022. One more thing that you have to keep in mind is that this is still the same design as the Apple Watch Series 7. So yes, there is a difference in the display. There's a huge difference. I'm not going to deny that fact, but design wise it's almost the same. From very far away you wouldn't really be able to see what Apple Watch someone has. You can't tell. I mean, someone passes by wearing an Apple Watch, I can't tell if it's a Series 3 or a Series 4 or a Series 6. Honestly, I'm not able to tell unless I grab it and I look at it. So design wise it's not really outdated either. So yeah guys, there you have it. This was a kind of like a really long-term review of the Apple Watch Series 2 because, as I said, I have been using it ever since it came out back in 2016. So I'm not saying that the other watches are, you know, not worth it. I mean, Apple Watch Series 7 is the best money can buy, but you don't always have to have the latest and greatest. If you want a starting point, I think the Apple Watch Series 2 is a very good place to start. So if you guys enjoyed the video, please drop a like, consider subscribing if you haven't already. Let me know down in the comments below what you think about the Apple Watch Series 2 in 2022. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.